So nobody else think it's cringy that these older women, aunties, MILFs is going after YNs or younger men. Nobody nervous for their sons. Nobody scared. Like, this not cringe for y'all.
In the last 10 years, I've noticed a new trend that I had never seen before, and that is women publicly being okay with dating much younger men. Now, we've always seen the opposite, and that's going to still remain true. But with regards to women, that was never the case. Now, obviously, we've heard of older women messing with younger dudes, but that was kind of taboo. It was on the low. But now it's everywhere.
When you're younger, you want to date older guys. And I'm not saying when you get older, you want to date younger guys, but when you get older, only younger guys want to date you. It's the wildest thing. Literally, guys will DM me or want to take me out, and I'll Google them. I'll be like, you're 22 years old. Like, how? Like, how does this work?
Now, that's the case of Lala Anthony after being divorced from Carmelo Anthony. But when she was married to Carmelo Anthony, she was already 4 to 5 years older at that particular time.
Damn.
We've already seen it with older women, like when Bernice Burgos was dating Jaylen Brown. We've seen it with Keisha Cole and Nico Kale, and then Keisha Cole and Huncho. And then we've seen it with others.
Oh yeah, and another thing, the way that y'all normalize Drea talking to a 23-year-old, having a child by a 23-year-old is insane. It's literally sick. Like, what do you mean your baby daddy / boyfriend is the same age as, if not younger than, your oldest son?
Drea Michelle and Jaylen Green right now is the most famous case. But in the case of Drea Michelle and Jaylen Green, I mean, at least it makes sense. Drea Michelle is like 40, Jaylen Green's like 23. And yes, he is as old as her son, but he also is making a lot of money playing for the Phoenix Suns. What is really interesting is the case of somebody like Masika Kalisha. She's like almost 40 years old, right? Her husband just died like last month. She was just acting a fool at the funeral. But what do we see her doing?
He cute as hell, ugly as fuck. Or nah. Don't talk about me like that. Alright.
Now, that's Hood Trophy Bino. Hood Trophy Bino is not even popular. He's an up-and-coming rapper, and we only know him because he was with Christian Rock. Hood Trophy Bino is like 25 years old. He don't have no real money, and you see, like, he just kissing on her and everything like that. And it's so bad that she gotta come out and say this.
So the sick thing to me is the fact that all these blogs and all of these is in the comment section know I was separated from my husband for over 2 years.
Damn.
That's Masika Kalisha defending her right to deal with a dude 15 years younger than her that don't even have as much money as her estranged late husband. But the big story that everybody's talking about right now is popular rapper NLE Choppa. If you remember last year, NLE Choppa went viral for allegedly getting his stylist pregnant. Now, his stylist name is Muel West, and at the time she was 42 and he was 22. But it is confirmed that she just had his baby, all right? And she's 20 years older than he is. And again, she's one of the most popular stylists out in the hip hop community. I mean, she styles Blueface and a whole bunch of other people. But before he even got her pregnant, this was a story.
Now, NLE Choppa is one with a couple kids, but he's 22 years old. Now, I've never heard good things about NLE Choppa and any of his baby mamas. The one yellow-skinned lady used to always come on live talking about how he made her have that baby, and then he didn't want to be with her anymore, so she's crying and kicking and screaming online. And she was an older lady, too. Do you remember that she was in her 30s? And they had their baby, like, when he was, like, 20.
Now, the previous baby mama before this lady was already complaining about NLE Choppa, okay? Like, he wasn't even taking care of his responsibility. But wait, it gets worse.
She went on live and she kind of confirmed and told on him that he had a baby on the way, saying that he wasn't there this year for their son's birthday party, although their baby was planned. He wasn't there for the birthday party, and he is a third baby mama pregnant. Now, that first baby mama, do y'all remember this, T? He shot her house up.
Not only did she complain, he actually spent some time with this chick, Muel West, who's old enough to be his mom, got her pregnant. Then at the same time, he was shooting up the house of his baby mama. Woo! I was trying to basically do some inspection. And in my inspection, I wanted to understand what young men thought about dating these older women.
Is there really this many young men who like older women? Yes! I'm not even reading the rest of this. Yes, yes. Man, there was not a single woman that ever taught me something in the bedroom until she was older than me. I ain't gonna lie, it kind of scared me too. I almost ran up out of there. I was like,
So in this young brother's opinion, he liked older women. He felt that, hey, listen, they got right to the point. And sexually, he found that he was learning a lot from these ladies. That was one thing. And then I wanted to see what somebody else said.
Milfs are such a good time though with each other. Like when they fuck with a young, they love to have a good time, like conversation wise, everything. They always keep it going too. They never dull. When I come to a joint that's maybe my age, I got potential to have to deal with keeping the conversation going. She might want to get super duper drunk at dinner. Milf might want to have 1 or 2 drinks. We can drink after. We can do whatever after.
This is a brother saying something similar, but something deeper. When he deals with older women, he understands that the conversation is deeper. He doesn't have to work harder to try to stimulate the conversation. And this is something that I can agree to. When you're talking to somebody a little bit younger, especially when I was in my 20s, dealing with the one-word replies, dealing with the what's going on and all this stuff, it was harder to maintain that conversation. But if an older woman is more interested in you, again, she can respond quicker. She also is, for the most part, able to handle herself better. He was talking about the fact that when he would deal with young chicks, they might just get sloppy drunk, and an older woman was more reserved. And for a younger man, this is something that is attractive, especially if you were growing up with a single mom and all of that. So if you come across an older woman that might be able to play somewhat of an advisor or a mom figure, and like I said, this is something that you might be interested in. But then I had to look at the opposite side of this. Why would a woman that is older, what does she get out of a younger man? And of course, I would hear a whole bunch of ladies, Amber Rose, Tracy Ellis Ross, they would say that these younger men are not as misogynistic. They're fun to be around. They're a breath of fresh air. And this is interesting for a group of women that would always talk about, a man's earning potential, what a man needed to earn to be with them. And I found that to be interesting because on one end, a man has to have X, Y, and Z to get with you. But as you get older and you can't necessarily demand that, now here we are flipping the goalposts. And then I said, well, this doesn't really match up because women always want what they want. They will always value a man with experience. So long term, having a younger man like Hood Trophy Bino who don't have a lot of experience, can't pay for things, that's not going to work. And then I found the answer.
And as men age, and I say this all the time, especially like for me, because I'm a black woman, I love black men. Black men get better as they age. I'm sorry. This is the reason why you see a lot of older women dating YNs or young men. They have to go back to what they know. They have to go back to what is comfortable with them. These black men who are older, they changed, they've matured, and they don't want to deal with the little girl shit no more. But these older women, they don't want to go through the change. They don't want to heal. So they settle for they settle for young black men who has not changed, who has not matured.
Woo! Now, I'm not trying to say that this happens all the time, but this is a really good answer in my honest opinion. And I'll use my own anecdotal evidence. The one thing that I understand about men typically. This is not all the way or all the time true. But men understand that as you get older and you're maturing, and if you want to stay in the game, you're going to have to evolve. You're going to have to evolve mentally, intellectually, financially. And as you evolve in life, you're going to have to figure out how to be more valuable. I believe that men care a lot more about this. What do other people want? What does the market want? I, as a man, am going to stay in the game, be competitive. Am I willing to sacrifice for those things? Women, in my honest opinion, tend to think less of that in the dating market. Women, as they get older, they tend to think of, well, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to give for me in the market? I'm kind of tired of guys wasting my time. I've wasted so much of my time dealing with you. Now I feel like I've already done enough. So if you're not going to do what I need you to do, then you need to kick rocks. So what tends to happen with that particular mentality is that you just stop growing in the market. And so men are kind of forced to evolve to keep getting what they want, whether it's from women, whether it's from their careers. Like the market forces men to keep developing. Whereas women feel that the market owes them and they've already felt like I've already developed. I'm not going to develop anymore. This is what I'm going to give you. If you want, then that's it. So what tends to happen, they can still look good and still look beautiful, but the men that have the money, that have the opportunity, well, their opportunities continue to grow. While somebody like Keisha Cole, somebody like Drea Michelle, somebody like Masika Kalisha, they still look decent and they still look great and they still fine. But the reality is that the men of their ilk don't want them anymore. And it's actually cheaper to deal with somebody else that's younger and could look even more attractive. So they just get skipped altogether because they price themselves out of the market and it's just too expensive to deal with them. So these ladies are literally left with no other choice but to date somebody at their own level, and that is intellectually, and that is somebody who is like a 25 or 23-year-old man, whether he has money or not, because those people are at their level. And so they want to dress it up as, oh, I'm dating a younger guy. These guys are really on me. These guys really appreciate me. When really it just shows a lack of cognitive development in the dating or mating market. This isn't to say that these women are not doing good financially. It isn't to say that these women are not valuable. What happens is they experience stunted growth. And when you experience stunted growth, people just don't want to deal with you anymore. All right. It happens with everybody in any industry. Sports. I mean, we see players that have good athleticism, great instincts, but if they don't develop a jump shot or become a good defender in basketball, or you have a quarterback that has a lot of great talent like Anthony Richardson, but you can't read defenses, that doesn't matter if you cannot move to the next level. And if women can't move to the next level with the men that they want to be with, and your attitude is, what are you going to do for me? Okay, well then the guys that you want will just simply skip you because they can, and they're going to skip you and get to what they want, but you're going to be sitting there thinking the market owes you, and then what you get is a guy like Hood Trophy Bino. Woo! What you get, if you get lucky, is maybe you get Jaylen Green, but that's really it. And so if you're 43 and you're getting pregnant by somebody that's 23, a guy that's a pookie, that's not really a compliment. That's saying that you've never grown up, because you're dealing with a dude that is still gonna cheat on you. He still mistreats women. And it just shows you that you have not developed, even though you're 43. You still, when it comes to picking men, have not understood what it means to be valuable to the man that you want to be with. So you refuse to do that. So you're out there getting clapped by these young dudes. And this is the case. It's the same case with Cardi B. This is the case with a lot of ladies who make the same kind of mistakes. I mean, even though Nicki Minaj is dating somebody her age, but we can see why she's with Kenneth Petty. Nobody will put up with Nicki Minaj. Not seriously, okay? And so when you don't want to develop into what the market wants, you only select what you can get from the market.
He's right, you know.
So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Oshay Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.